So, the first thing to do, and you said it earlier, Melissa, but I want to underscore it, is we got to get better at listening. Parents, we're terrible at listening.
Welcome to Now What? Hi, I'm Melissa, your host, and you're listening to Now What, the podcast that dives into the heart of midlife and all its twists and turns. Whether you're feeling lost, bored, or just wondering what your next move should be, believe me, you're not alone. So join me and let's navigate this midlife maze together. Hoops and gloss. Think back to when your kids were little and the things they would say and do were just the cutest. The innocence, the love, the sweetness. And then they turned 13. And suddenly, they not so gently tell you, you breathe too loud, you don't know anything, you're so annoying. When you ask them how their day was, you are met with mind your own business and you ask so many freaking questions. You suddenly find yourself holding your breath, literally, and tiptoeing past their bedroom so not to disturb the sleeping beasts. Yes, hoops and glass, we're talking teens today, but never fear, help is on the way. Thank God. My guest today helps parents use coaching strategies so we, all of us, can have better relationships with our teenagers. You can find her on Instagram at Executive Coach Playbook. Please welcome to Now What, Maria Iams.
Thank you. That
Oh
was
my,
exciting.
Maria, is there hope? Where have our innocent
Oh,
children gone? It is,
it's so sad, isn't it?
I will never forget
God.
Shannon and we were just married and we're at Shan's brother's wedding. And my oldest, Tyler, so I have three kids. Tyler, the oldest, sophomore in college, Dylan, the middle, freshman in college, and then the baby, my daughter, Devin, sophomore in high school. And Tyler was maybe, I don't know, 6 months old, easiest baby. And we're at this wedding. And the guy at our table is telling a story of how his teen tells him he hates him all the time. And Shannon and I, so judgy, so naive, to turn to each other and go, our kids will never tell us they hate us. We are so fun and fabulous. And then fast forward, aren't we the fools?
Yeah, I know. And it's so shocking because they love you so much until they,
Yes. Yes, they love you so much until they don't. Okay, so
yes,
Maria,
yes.
tell Hoops and Gloss, you have kids.
I have kids. I have two
Yes.
kids, a freshman in college and a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
So I feel like you and I are at a very similar place where we have really been through it with our own
Hmm.
kids. Like you said, 13, even 12, even I
Yes.
would say 18 months,
Middle
my
school.
daughter. I mean, we have really been, right? There are the kids like that. We have really been through it and we're still kind of in it, but we are starting to see a little bit with the older ones, a little bit of light at the
Ooh, yes.
I mean, just a little.
Like, do you think because once they go away to college and they move out, because then, or even before they leave the nest?
I think that a little bit before-ish to when they leave because they're just more mature. They're older,
Yes.
they get it, and
Yes.
they kind of come back to us. Not fully, but they just
Right.
a little bit. Just maybe they
Right.
have a little bit more gratitude.
There are little nuggets.
Yes,
Do do
yes.
you see a difference between boys versus girls? Or is it just the kid's the kid? Because hormones hit at different
Yeah.
levels. Girls do mature, especially today, so much quicker than boys.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll zoom out and go past my my own kids and think about like my work with kids when I
Yeah.
was in middle schools and high schools. Yes, I mean the girls, they're early. They are more treacherous at a younger age than the boys. I find that girls 12 to 17 are really challenging. And boys, they give you a little few more years and they're more like 14 on. So I would say just brain development has a lot to
Yes,
do with that.
totally.
And yeah, and then they're both they can just be both tough. And then I also think on the kid, right? It
For
totally
sure.
depends on the kid.
For sure.
Mhm.
Now, let's step back and what is your background? Because you work with corporations
Yes.
with communication strategies. So,
So
what
what the hell am I doing?
Well, thank God for you. So, what led you? How did you get involved in that? And then, what led you from
I know.
corporations to I'm going to take on teens?
I'm going to do teens. I know, why not? So it was, I mean, everybody you talk to, I think our age has a very similar path where they start somewhere and they end up somewhere else. And I
Totally.
started in education. I wanted to, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to do the job I'm doing now. I just didn't know how to get there.
I
So,
love that though. That's
yeah.
what my podcast is all about is following like everyone has a story and everyone's journey. So many women. I think I'm older than you. I'm 52.
Not much.
Okay, not much.
Yeah,
But
2
at
years.
this age, it's did you ever, are you doing today what you thought you would be doing in college? Like, no. And that's
Oh my God,
great.
no.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I didn't
Exactly.
even know what I'm doing now existed when I was
Oh,
in college.
totally. And that's
I didn't,
why
yeah.
I worry, and I want to get your, and then we'll circle back. But
Mhm.
I feel like these kids today, have you noticed a change in that there is so much pressure on them to know what
Yes.
you're majoring in, know what you're doing right out of college, know what you want to be when you grow up. It's like, I went to college undeclared. And I'm like, I just got in. I'm here to have a good time. And it did work itself out. Randomly was a communications major,
Mhm.
randomly fell into my job in advertising because my first job interview was at a finance company. I had to take a test, a math test first to pre-qualify for an interview that I failed. It's like, okay, rejection is just redirection, right?
Yes. Yes. It's so true.
But it's changed.
I agree. And there are
Yeah.
places, I mean, I know my daughter had to go in as her major, and you have to start taking classes in your major right away. I mean,
Yes. For us,
I,
it was junior year. You're
yeah,
right.
totally. Like we got to mess
Yes.
around a little bit and take our gen eds and dabble in a few
Yes.
things, but it's really, really hard now. So I can see why they've got so much pressure. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I did know that I really liked being in a place where I was helping people be successful. And I will say that that has been my North Star. I don't
Love
like to
that.
be the one in the spotlight, but I like helping people get what they want, whatever that is. So
Love that.
that was really my driving force to go into teaching. And I was a communication major as well, because, I didn't know what I
Right?
was doing. And I was an education major too. And so I went into teaching and I worked in education in a variety of roles. So I was a teacher, I was an administrator, I was an instructional coach, I was in charge of it was called the networks. I did all the AP professional development. I
Mm,
was working in turnaround schools. I did like a smattering of things.
love it.
When I was in education, I mean, I was exposed to kids all the time, obviously. I was in schools all the time.
Yeah.
And I love kids. Kids are great. They are truth tellers,
Oh boy.
right?
Yeah, if you get a bit of an ego, just walk out of your room in an outfit in front of one
Right.
of your kids.
Yeah. Walk into a middle school, they'll tell you what's up. Yeah. And they're just so pure that if you really like,
I
people are like,
agree.
oh my gosh, I could never teach middle school. And I think middle schoolers are fascinating. They're
Well,
just
thank God for people like you because
fascinating.
I think I'm one of those who I can never teach middle school. But a friend of mine always said, and I love this, there are no bad kids. They are
No.
born so innocent. Kids struggle. Kids may have not so great a home life or whatever, but intentionally kids want to be good and they are all good. It's just, how they're shaped,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's so true. So I actually love that you say that in middle school because man, sometimes I would go there. I'm like, thank God for you teachers. This is
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, and I used to think that too, even when I went into teaching. I was in elementary for a long time, and then just through what I was doing and saying yes to, I have a problem. I say yes to a lot of things. What I was saying yes to, it pushed me into the higher grades. So I was in middle schools, I was in high schools, and I just loved talking with the middle schoolers and high schoolers.
Love
And
that.
I just was really interested in how adults were interacting with that age group. So that's where I found myself. And then what was going on in my personal life was that I had really small kids at the time when I was working in these really rough schools.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point where almost every day we were in a lockdown situation, there was a lot
Oh
of
God.
violence. And
Oh,
I just got to a place where I was not feeling like this was the best thing for me
yeah,
to be doing for my family at that point. It was
sure.
very stressful. So I decided to move out of the school system and I was just doing a lot of consulting. And I was still working in turnaround schools and that sort of thing. And I was in Seattle at the time, and I have a really good friend, Jenna, who I work with now. She was over, we were just hanging out with our kids, and she was like, "Could you run a workshop for me at Microsoft?" And I was like, "Yeah." I run workshops all the time. I plan curriculum. Like I have this background. I was doing it already.
Totally.
And so I started doing that, and it was a really great fit. And I absolutely loved working with corporate America. It was just so different.
For
And so
sure.
I essentially just pivoted, and that's what I do. I'm a coach. I was certified as a coach when I was in education. So I'm a coach. I'm a curriculum designer. I plan experiences for people. I write keynotes for people. I consult on communication, and I just love it. So that's how I ended up here. But I have this background with teenagers.
Yeah.
It's like weird. It's like my career is split into two, right?
Yes.
Got this background. So what started happening is as, my kids were getting older, I noticed that I would get calls from people like every day. Hey, my kid is doing this. What do you think? Hey, my kid is doing this because, they knew I was a teacher, blah, blah. And something very interesting started when people's kids got older. I was getting these calls like all the time.
See? Like,
Like,
there's an alien now in my
yes,
child's room.
right.
Noises come out of there, but I do not know what is happening.
Yeah, and that is the truth. It's like my friends were like, I don't know what to do.
And I'm
You
sorry, the
know?
books are great, but
Yeah.
I read, especially with my first, read all the books, and I just never had the kids that would sit quietly in a timeout chair. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I think you need one-on-one. Every kid, every situation is
Yeah.
different. You need one-on-one guidance. Like,
And you need some quick hits and you need some
yeah.
wins as a parent,
Yes.
right?
Oh my God. Yes.
You need some
I
wins.
love that. Quick hits and wins.
Yes. So yeah, there are the books, and I mean, there are so many great books
For
out there
sure.
about raising teens. I love all those books, but I was noticing that there was not enough support for parents of tween and teenage kids. There's just not. And I was like, this is so interesting. I'm doing this day in, day out. Wouldn't it be something if I made this public? If other people had more access to this. So remember, the North Star is I want to help as many people be
Yes.
successful in whatever they want.
Yes.
So that's what really drives me is maybe there's something I'm going to say. Maybe it's one thing and you're going to use it and you're going to get a win and you're going to feel
Yes.
more comfortable in your communication with your kid. And if that happens, then I'm so happy for you.
Oh, I follow you on Instagram and I have used many of your little nuggets. And it seems so simple. Some of the
Yes.
things you suggest, and we'll get into that. It's like, oh my God, why didn't I think of that? But why don't we as parents think of that? Because we're just in the thick of it and we're emotionally tied to it, or do you feel like the strategies are pretty simple?
I think we have to shift our goal when we have teenage kids
Okay.
because when we have younger kids, so your elementary school kids, you are using language of compliance. You are protecting your kids from the world. So you're like, don't touch that stove, it's hot. Don't run into the street. And so there's a lot of like, you're doing this, you're not doing that. So we use that language, we're kind of managing our kids. And then they get older. And tweens and teens do not like being told what to do.
Oh, they don't
But
even like being looked at. Heaven
yeah,
forbid I glance over. I'm like, what are you looking at? Stop staring at me. You always stare at me. I'm like, just glancing, just a glance.
right. But they see it as judgment because that's
Oh,
the biggest thing. So we're trying to make them comply. We don't change our language. They get older and
Right.
then they hate us.
And we need to change our,
And
is
we
that what
need
you're
to
saying? We
change our
need,
language. So that's what's the
yes.
hard part is shifting from moving from compliance to connection and collaboration. That's what we have to be thinking about with our teenagers. So we have to shift the way we're talking to them.
This is like, I'm like so excited because this is going to help so many people. Why isn't this talked about more? I mean, my God, you hear the same things, you see the same memes.
Mhm.
Why is it? Is it, uh,
I think it's hard. It's not,
yes.
it's hard and it's not. It's like here's the thing. We're doing our best. None of us parents
Mhm.
know what the hell we're doing, okay? None of
A,
us know what we're doing,
amen. Amen.
right?
I'm
I mean,
turning my volume up for that one.
right? We don't know what we're doing,
No clue.
but we do know what we're doing when we are literally trying to protect our kids from death when they're younger. Okay?
Right.
Like
The
that's
pool,
kind
the
of basic.
stove.
Exactly. We don't
Yes.
know how to dial that back and shift it in a way when they're teenagers. And so what ends up happening is a lot of parents don't change their language and the kids get frustrated, or the parents are like, oh, I'm going to be my kid's best friend, which also doesn't work
Yes.
out.
Yes. Which that's
So,
I don't know about you. I think that's a generational thing. I mean, my parents, and maybe it was just my parents, they never said, I'm your best friend.
no, I think it could be generational. I also think it could be like I don't like coming down on my kids like this all the time. I don't like this language of compliance, but I don't know what to do about it. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
jump over being essentially a consultant. That's what you've got to be. You got to be a coach.
It is true. And don't you
Yeah,
feel someone said too, especially the transition from kids from high school to college, you go from parent to coach.
totally.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that really resonated with me. Like it's hard though when they come to you with an issue and when do you just listen
Yeah,
and when do you give advice or do you just sometimes with girlfriends, I don't know if this is one of the strategies, but sometimes a girlfriend will call me and I'll say, "Do you want my opinion or do you want me to just listen?"
hmm Yeah.
Is
You can
that
do
a
that with
possible
kids.
strategy with teens?
Absolutely. And I would recommend that we really don't give our teens advice and that we use coaching strategies. And that's what my whole page is about. We use coaching strategies to get the teenager to solve their own problem.
Okay, let's emphasize this.
Yes.
So, do not give your teens flat out advice. I've already failed.
I mean, like we said, nobody knows what they're doing. I don't know what I'm
As of
I don't know what
uh,
I'm doing.
as of since drop off this morning,
Right.
I have failed that test. Okay, hoops and glass, listen. We do not give our teens advice. We use coaching strategies. Okay, so what are the top coaching strategies?
You're like,
I literally have grabbed a pen and paper. Like,
yeah, what are we doing, right?
what the F are we
What are you
doing?
doing?
I mean, I've already let two go. Better late than never.
Right. Well, let's take a situation. Let's
Okay.
let's pretend that your kid comes to you and is like, there's a party that I really want to go to Friday night. Okay, but I've already made plans with my best friend and she's not invited to the party.
Ooh,
What do I do? I mean, this seems pretty benign, right? What do
yeah.
I do? So you might have had this situation and
No,
what
I just panicked.
yeah.
You're like, it's 9. I'm like, I don't know. Let's call Maria.
Right, like what do I do? Our kids start talking and we're like, I can solve this. Da da da. We stop listening and we already go. So, and what I mean by listening is you are paying attention to everything that's going on when your kid is saying this, how they're saying it, right? Like, I really want to go to this party, but I already made plans with so and so is very different than Um, I really want to go to this party, but I already made plans. Like your kid is already knowing what they want to choose, and the way they deliver it, if we're not paying attention, we can't really coach them that well. So the first thing we got to do is listen and really pay attention. And so what I always do then is I just give back to the kid what they gave to me. So this is your move. This is a coaching strategy. So
Okay, listen up.
I got invited to this party. I really want to go, but I already made plans with my best friend. What should I do? Say back to them. Sounds like you're really torn. You want to go to this party, but you already made plans with Becky, we'll just call her. And that's all you say.
That is the hardest part. Do you not?
Yes.
To parents, that is the
hardest part. But do you see what
So
I did there? I just
validate their feelings.
yes,
sounds like you're
torn. Yeah.
And you state the facts of what they just told you.
You want to do this and you want to do this. And they'll be like, and here's what will happen. They'll be like, yeah, and so-and-so is going to be there. And this is where you want them to start talking a little bit. Now, sometimes they won't, especially if you're dealing with a boy. Sometimes, I mean, I know my own son, he'd be like, yeah. Yeah,
totally.
That's right. And then you ask a question. Well, what's your plan? So that's the move I make. You listen, you paraphrase,
no advice,
and you ask a question. There's no advice because
listen,
paraphrase, and ask a question. And the question usually is, what's your plan? What are you thinking? What's coming to mind? How are you feeling about this? Because they've done some thinking about it. They have. They're not nuanced enough to know how to make a decision, and that's why they're coming to us. So we're just going to hold up the mirror and say, like, we trust you to make this decision. I'm just going to help you through it. So let's say, okay, so what do you think? What's your plan? I don't know. And then you could say, well, sometimes when I have a hard time making a decision, I write out a pro and con list. Or sometimes when I have a hard time making a decision, I really listen to my gut. That's not advice. I'm sharing a strategy with you. Like, here's what I do, or here's what so-and-so does. Maybe that would work for you, but it's still not advice.
Okay, what, Maria? I feel like I need to call my boys and apologize. My boys are in college. Like,
no, because it's so easy to be like, oh, you know what you should do?
Yes. I mean, Maria.
Yeah, you know what you should do. And then we get the shoulds. And I will tell you, the number one thing teenagers hate is being judged. And the minute we should them, it's judgment time. That's why our kids get angry when we look at them and they're like, what are you looking at? What do you think? Right? If we make any statements about like their appearance or anything, I mean, they're so sensitive. They're so sensitive. They just want to blend in and just be normal. Right? And that's why it's so hard because they feel judged by us. So that's the biggest thing is like, how can we lower our judgment? We can secretly judge them.
Well, I'm just thinking back.
Wine with our friends, but we can't judge them to their faces.
I'm just thinking back, poor Devin, my daughter. I don't mean to throw my husband under the bus, believe me, there are many things I've done wrong. But my daughter just came home, went shopping, and she's like, look at the shirt I got. And of course, it's like less than a yard of material.
Right. It's this big.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, you call that a shirt? And it's like, oh, she probably felt judged. Meanwhile, that's what everyone's wearing. Like,
right.
It was from Brandy Melville. It's not like Victoria's.
Totally. But seriously, but that's such a good story because the idea is that you say that in your head, but what comes out of your mouth is, wow, you seem so excited about that.
Oh.
Right? Like, and in your head, you're like, oh my gosh, that's going to cover her left shoulder.
You know, my daughter now is 6 feet tall. So
I don't know. Brandy Melville is a whole, we could do an episode on that. I mean,
one size fits all my ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, question for you.
Yeah.
What if in that scenario, they say, well, what would you do? Can you say, what would you do? Or you would just say, I would just listen to my gut?
That's such a good question. This is when our stories from our youth can play such a good role. And like I had that experience happen to me, right? Where I had plans with my best friend, and then I got invited to this Halloween party that I really wanted to go to.
Yes.
And I mean, I would say, well, I've had this experience happen, and this is what I chose to do. I chose to keep my plans with my best friend. I said, and I don't know if I would choose the same thing now. I think what I would have done now is gone to the person who invited me to the Halloween party and said, can my best friend come along? But I didn't do that then. So, like, I would share some maybe learning that could be applicable. But I feel like we've all had very similar situations, if
Oh,
even if they're not
totally.
exactly the same, it's like choosing.
You know what? I had an aha moment for me. I need to pause. I know I'm so quick. Like you said, your child tells you of a dilemma. It's like, oh my gosh, let me help you with that right away. Instead
Totally.
of just, oh my God, Melissa, just pause. Like you said, listen before acting or speaking, which I could say I need to use in all aspects of my life. We're all works in progress.
None of us know what we're doing, but it's
But do
so
you think
true.
like not react, like just take a beat, just pause?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Maria, I'm gonna pick Devin up today at school. I'm gonna be like, not look at her. Okay. So this is one of my questions.
Yes. Yes.
When we pick up kids from school,
Yes.
and I remember they're exhausted, they're hungry.
Hmm.
I've given up on, did you, whatever. I went
Right.
years
Right.
not eating lunch or drinking one sip of water. Like literally.
Seriously, I don't even know how we're all alive.
No,
We never drink water.
I was at my Devin's volleyball tournament and we were laughing. We were like, oh my gosh, look at the girls and all these water bottles. And she goes, yeah, I'm so paranoid that my daughter's not drinking enough water. And she goes, I didn't drink water for 12 years of my life. Never, I wouldn't even take water to like practice, sport
No,
practice. Did my parents ever say, do you have your water bottle? It was
never.
like, oh, never. And we survived. I mean, we're all
We
dehydrated,
survived. We're all dehydrated. Exactly.
but we survived. Okay,
Good.
so I pick my daughter up from school today. Do I even say hello? Because literally, she gets in the car and I forget sometimes. I'm like, "How's your day?" Just stop talking to me. She's being,
Of
you
course.
love my
No,
daughter, blah
this
blah.
is
But
very
like,
typical.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what am I to do today?
Yeah. Yeah. What is the plan
And
for?
I'm
We got an
in
hour.
an hour and a half. Oh no, I'm gonna report back to you. I'm gonna be laughing the whole way. Am I allowed to look at her? Do I even say hello? What is your suggestion?
My suggestion is say hello. And if you can get through this without laughing, because it might be so bizarre,
Yeah.
I would say something like, it's great to see you.
Ugh.
You don't have to say that. You just say hi.
No,
Just say
no,
just say hi. You could say hi, it's great to see you. Hope you had a great day. No questions.
no.
I think that's the big takeaway. No questions. If I pick up Andrew from somewhere,
Yep.
I'll be like, "Hi buds." And then we are silent on the drive. There is no communication because the other thing that I see parents doing is we think that we are private investigators and we
Oh,
have like a list of questions that we want to ask these kids. And you know those moments where you've asked one too many questions, right?
oh.
It's like you're doing
Oh.
okay, and then you ask one more, and then it's like, I don't want to talk about this. Stop talking to me, right? And you're like, oh gosh, I blew it.
It's
I
like the cartoon when you get hit over the head with the
yes,
frying pan. You're like, oops, one too many.
yes. And we want all the information, we want the context, we like, and this is another thing I will talk about on the podcast or on my Instagram or whatever. It's like this is not our job. We are not we unless you are paid as a detective. We are that's not what we are supposed to be doing. Because that's not the goal anymore. The goal is a good relationship with our kids. And so imagine if you came home from school or came home from work and somebody was like, what did you eat today? Did you finish your lunch? Did you have enough water? You'd be like, oh my God, I just need a break. right? Or like they went to a
So
party. Who was
true.
at the party? And were the parents home? And da da da. And how did you get home? And la la la. It's like
Maria.
you're filling out a police report, right?
Oh my God. It's never too late, right? It's never
It's
too
never
late.
too late.
Right.
Never too late. But this, I think, is another thing. When I hear parents tell me, like, my kids don't talk to me,
Hmm.
like, one of the first things I'll ask is, what is the nature of your conversations? Well, I'll ask him questions and I'll ask this and I'll ask that. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go on a question hiatus. Let's not do any questions. Let's just do statements because it might just be too much. You need a little bit of a break.
So what I'm hearing is I'm practicing my listening
You're
skill.
pausing.
I pause. Less is definitely more.
Hmm.
No questions. One of my questions for you. Oh, okay. I had specific. Number two was when we pick them up. What do we do? Number one was in the morning. I assume it's the same. Good morning or just nothing. I mean, I will say good morning. It's like I get growled at. But you know what? I was the same way. I vividly remember, Maria, the second I would get up and my
Mm,
dad's office was, he worked at an office, but like he'd go into the office, make a few
yeah.
calls before he would leave. Good morning. I'd be like, stop talking to me. And that's all he had to say. Like, so I get that in the morning thing. So
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
it's just nothing.
Maybe I don't know, you could change up your delivery of it because here's the thing. If you stop saying good morning, Devin will be like, why aren't you saying good morning to me? Right? You're not going to be able to win.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. So
To pick up.
maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe you've been up for 2 hours and you've worked out maybe and you're like, good morning. I don't know if that's how you're saying it,
No,
but
I'm still not a morning.
right.
But even
Okay.
if I do that, I'm not a morning person. But yes, I know what you
It's
mean.
just like, morning. Maybe it's playing around with your delivery and maybe it just sounds kind of like you're far in the house so that you don't have to hear any backlash. Like morning.
Yeah,
Right.
like not in their face.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, another specific question because I'm taking advantage of this. I am sure my audience has the same questions. Okay, so I have not made a lunch in years. That was one like that's just our personal thing. They're old enough to make their lunches, so that's fine. Every now and then, or, well, usually she'll just grab a bar for the morning. But if I'm like, do you want a breakfast burrito? Is that okay to ask? I mean, she did nicely say no, thank you.
Sure.
I'm so nervous now. Like, of the no questions. Can you sense my like?
I think sure you can that's so lovely that she's
Isn't it
so
of me?
lucky that
It's very rare.
you're open to making her breakfast.
Thank
I think that's great. I mean, yes, of course. I think the bigger, maybe I'll attach this to something bigger. Kids, they like guardrails and they like boundaries. Even if
Yes,
they say they don't, they really do.
for sure.
So the fact that you're like, I don't do lunches. I'm not doing lunches. I don't do lunches either.
Yeah.
So we've probably told both of our kids, like, I'm not packing a lunch. If you'd
Yeah.
like to bring a lunch,
Yeah.
you know, you make your own lunch. Where we would get into trouble is if every day we're asking, what would you like me to pack you for lunch? After we've told them I'm not doing lunches. So that's, I think, where it gets a little confusing for them. Like, wait a minute. But
I
that's
just
what you're doing. Yeah, you're
mm, I did this morning. Hold up. Do you want a breakfast burrito? No, thank you. Are you sure? Maria. Why can't I just say no, thank you? End of
great.
discussion. End of discussion.
Well, it's
I
the
told you
way,
I already failed this
no,
morning.
you didn't. It's like the way that we show love as parents, right? We
Yeah.
feed our kids
Yes.
and
Yes.
we want to make sure that they've got their things, their water bottles. Don't forget your water bottle, all that kind of stuff. And I think all of that is fine. It's really about the ongoing communication moments you have with your kids and how you can use them to build back your relationship with them.
Yes. Yes, I remember the pediatrician saying to me, I want to get your thoughts on this. We grew up with you look people in the eye when you speak to them. You look people in the eye. And I remember pediatricians saying, kids, however, they will say more if they're not looking at you. So, for example, like the
Mhm.
car, it feels safer.
Yes,
Would you agree with that? Because like they're looking ahead, I'm supposedly looking ahead, I'm driving,
totally.
like so it's not as intimidating where they can share their feelings more. Because I do feel like, as wait, is Andrew driving?
No, and it's so funny because he got so quiet right when he turned 15. And, here they don't get their permit until 15 and a half. But I was like, hey, you want me to take you out and teach you how to drive? And we were driving around before he had his permit because I wanted him to keep talking to me.
Yes. Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
we're in the car. It's way
Yes.
and there's a start and an end. It's not like you don't know
Yeah.
when this is going to be over. You know it's going
Yes.
to be over. You're going to pull into the
Yes.
driveway. So
Yes.
yes, I think the car is great. Walks are really great, and especially anything physical with boys too. So like throwing a ball or
Yes.
anything like that
Yeah, it's
is
not rude.
yeah,
Is
it's
they just get a
yeah,
no, but look, when they meet someone new, I would like them to say, hello, Mrs.
totally.
Iams.
Yeah.
But talking to your parents. Okay, another question I have.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with your child. Like they're going through something. Maybe you've heard the inkling. A lot of people around here don't talk much. Just kidding. Let's say you've heard through the grapevine, there's an uproar in the group or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but your child's not saying anything that they're hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Advice.
Mm-hmm.
Ignore them. Obviously pushing like I've done are you okay? Are you okay? What's going on? What's going on? I heard this. I heard that. I assume that's a no, which I'm sure I've done.
Yeah, that it's so hard because what you're weighing is how serious is this,
Right.
right? So I would say if you see your kid exhibiting behavior that is atypical, it's serious. And that's when you need to push a little bit. If it
Yes.
is if they're still behaving like you would expect them to, but you've heard
Right.
little, I would stay light touch about it because we also want to convey to them that they got this, right? They can
Yes.
work through this. Uh, I mean,
Yes.
life is full of adversity, and if we're always just
Mhm.
rushing in to try to help solve every problem, we're doing them a disservice. And thinking about like my daughter where things were not really great. It's more about, you know, it seems like you're really upset about something, right? It sounds
Again,
like,
a statement.
yeah,
No
it's right. It
question.
sounds like something might be going on. And just really trying to, I help identify and name that emotion. It's really powerful. So it might be upset, it might be annoyed, it might be frustrated, it might be confused, and just trying that statement a few times without saying, what's going on? Or I heard this, because that feels like,
Gossipy and bait, like,
yes,
yes.
exactly.
It
Exactly
almost
like,
has shame with it in a way. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel
So,
terrible.
oh no, I think it's hard because of course our natural tendency is to worry. It's like, how worried do I need to be? That's what we're always judging as parents, right? Like, do I need to be,
Well, yes.
yeah? How worried am I about this?
Yes. Is it like, okay, they didn't get invited to a party that everyone's going
Mhm.
through? Sucks. It's a bummer, but this too shall pass.
Exactly. That's par for the course versus
Yeah. I'm really struggling.
everybody in her friend group is not talking to her for
Yeah.
some reason. Like
Yeah.
that's a bigger deal. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So, I mean, we've kind of covered it by saying what to do, but what not to do, just to recap,
Yeah.
no questions, people. And by people, I mean me. I am yelling at myself.
Well, and here's the thing, you can ask questions. It's just the type of, what's your plan? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Those are very
Put it on.
different.
Yes.
Yes. After you've said, like, it sounds like you're really torn about these two options. Like, what do you think? What are you planning on doing? But yes, not the sort of questions that like would be on the private investigator tip sheet, right? Those sorts of questions don't feel good.
Yes, we are not. Who's the guy? Inspector
Yeah,
Clouseau. We are
exactly.
not.
Exactly.
Who was the with the books I loved? Hardy Boys and
Right. Nancy
Nancy
Drew.
Drew.
We're
We
not
are
solving a
not Nancy
mystery.
Drew. Hey, Nancy, put your pen and paper down.
That's right. We're not doing that.
We are not doing that. Okay, we're listening more.
Yes. Pausing.
Pause. My husband would love for me to pause more. Pause before
Seriously.
I pull out the credit card. Pause before. Any other major, I mean, you are just such a wealth of knowledge. I could literally speak with you for
Oh,
hours. Do you find, is there a big correlation between communicating with CEOs and corporations and teenagers?
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because people are people and they're
Yeah.
emotional. People have feelings. Turns out you can't really separate how people feel about things from work. And so
Yeah.
I do a lot of change communication. So a lot of if there's been layoffs, so if there's a change in something. And I have coached so many people who want to get out there and like, this is what we're doing and it's the new thing. And it's like, no, 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 no. Everybody in the audience is like, how is this impacting me? Do I still have a job? What does this mean for me? And you've got to recognize that first because people can't engage. So it is a lot of like, I know this is hard. This feels very different,
Yes.
right? It's like, you've
Yes.
got to honor that first before you can move into any sort of, and here's what we're going to do. So yeah, there's a lot of correlations.
That makes sense. And it at the end of the day, it is communication. I mean,
Yes, it is. It is. And I feel so, and this is what I mean. I feel so lucky because I have worked with this population before. So I'm not necessarily afraid, right, of the tweens and the teens.
yes.
I'm not afraid. And then I have all this communication training and background, and I get to do it all the time. So I feel equipped with these skills. And that's what I was trying to do, like to bring to the masses. Let me help you. Like here's some tips. Try these with your kids. This could work. This could help your relationship. Because I wouldn't know really what to do if I didn't have these two experiences.
Maria, we need you. The world needs you. I am telling you, you are such a wealth of information and it's realistic, it's doable. It doesn't feel daunting. Like, okay, I can do
So
that.
glad. Yeah, I can do that. I can pause.
I can pause. I can pick her
Yeah.
up, just say, "Hey, it's nice to see you." Well, I'm zip my lip. I mean, literally, I'm been giggling the whole way home. I'm going to send you a text right out.
I want you to text me. I did it.
Okay, someone needs help. How do they work with you?
Oh
We
boy.
need you.
I know.
911.
I
I'm
know.
calling you directly. I'm sorry. That
I know. My friends have the hotline.
I got the hotline and the back phone. And it
You
is
should
coming
call
in
the back
hot.
phone. Well, here's what I would say. I would say go to Instagram, go to TikTok, go to my podcast, take a listen, take a look, and then you can always DM me.
Yes.
I'm not doing this because I want to like make money and monetize this whole thing. I'm doing it because
You love it.
there's a need and I'm passionate about it. And I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So,
Okay, so your Instagram is Executive Coach Playbook.
so
Is
is
it
my
the same on
TikTok.
TikTok?
Yeah, it
I
is.
just tried tech. You're better at TikTok than I am. TikTok scares me. I
I
don't.
really love TikTok.
I know. I need you need to teach me. Next
Yeah.
next one is I need a TikTok
A
101.
tutorial.
Yeah, one step at a time. I gotta learn how to shut my mouth in front of my kids. Let me do that, and then we're gonna do a TikTok tutorial. Okay, name it. Where can we find your podcast, and what's the name?
Okay, it's on Spotify and Apple. It's called Try This at Home.
Try this at home.
Yes.
Maria Iams, you are amazing.
Thank you.
Seriously. I think you could literally make millions out of doing this if you could,
Yeah,
because
that's what I need help with, right? Some imposter syndrome and just helping me form a community around this. That's what I haven't figured out how to do yet. So,
Yes. And that's what you and I were talking about. And that was
yes.
the whole point of, and it's so needed. And women especially thrive in communities. That's the whole point of the
Yes.
Now What. It's like we're going through this together, you guys.
Yeah.
The bullshit on Instagram, the perfect family, and the perfect it's wrong. The ones who are so perfect on Instagram, believe me, I know firsthand, they're the most messed up ones, you
Totally.
know?
100%.
So we all just I want to just create a welcoming community, but you and I will work on that.
I know we got to figure that part out. That's the
Yeah.
thing that I haven't quite mastered yet. So,
Yes. Yes, because we need you. The world needs this, Maria. The world needs this. Well, thank you so much.
no, you're so welcome.
I
Thank
know.
you.
Oh my gosh. I know everyone's going to just get so many great tips and reach out to Maria. If you're one of those who goes home and has to tiptoe and is a little nervous walking by your kid's door, picking them up. Thank you so much, Maria.
Thanks, Melissa.
Bye bye. All right, hoops and gloss. That's it for this episode. Please share with a friend, and I'll see you next week.